Hello, it's Duty Paint, and this is part 3 of custom computer build. And this is my computer case. Now, I wouldn't say just got. I've had this quite a long time. I got two. If you look at my channel icon, I got two radios at the same time, and they were from auction. And sticker taking off all the varnish there. These were described as two early wirelesses. And I got these at a local auction house. And there was the other one, which was a Bush AC 37, I think. And this one, which I never knew the name until now, and turned around and it's a Radiant 548E, it should say in the description. And the other one was a bit prettier, to be told. And I put this one in the garage, and this one's been sitting in the garage. It's had things leaking on it, I think you can see from the roof. The wood slightly delaminated here, and the garage was broken into at one point, and I thought this was damaged, but it's certainly is Defiant, and the glass has survived. This probably dates from around about 1940s, and this was probably I found out a little bit of history about it just once I found out the name, and these were sold as a Co-op special, I believe. And the Co-op is a kind of supermarket chain, been around for years, and they always do a scheme of where you sort of, the customer's more than a customer, they're like part of a business, so they give you rewards and stuff. So this will hopefully be my new computer case. Probably I'll sort of measure it. I've got my Julius Caesar here, so let's have a look. What shall I give you? I actually have more American viewers than English. So let's just say, let's round this up. What's that? 20 inches or 50 centimeters. The depth is around about 10 inches or 25. And, well, that's the width. Depth. Oh, I don't need to measure the depth, because that's the same. I'm getting lost. And the total height would be, all in shot, I know you can't see that, about 13 and a half, or about 30, about nearly 14 inches, or about 35 centimeters. So comparable to a small, well, not a micro ATX case. And I thought we'd just have a look at the radio today and reminisce. Now this is, well, I know your first question is it in working condition? Well, let's make sure this is in shot. This is the plug to it, and it's the old Bakelite MK, which is a good make, with this kind of double cord wire, which is how many fractures in there you never know. And they used to be once shiny brass colour, and the thought of plugging that into well, it's 220, 240 as it's known in this country, and sending real voltage through that doesn't thrill me with too much excitement. And also, you've got to remember, these are shortwave, long wave, so no FM, certainly no digital. And now I can just go to my Google Home and request any song I want to listen to. It's a different age we live in, but this was probably part of the family. We run through the controls, on and off and volume. Now that's a switch. After 70 years, that's still clicking in. This one, no idea. It seems to have a stop, maybe a sort of tonal one. And that one doesn't feel connected to anything, goes round in a circle. And this one doesn't move, but you can see the shortwave moving. That one was probably the tuner, and the cable's probably snapped. I'll bring you in close and we will look at the what it could receive. So now we're nice and close, we can see the tuning dial. And this has got a nice sort of 1940s fabric on here. quite hard to find, but you can get sort of material of that. Did I just adjust the focus? I have to be careful of that. So we actually got shortwave, medium wave, and long wave. Medium wave still used today. You can pick up a few stations on that. Normally a bit more rock solid back in the day as to FM. Frequently modulated and medium wave. Short wave, medium wave, and long wave. Now, I believe long wave didn't travel as far as short wave, which sounds a bit weird, but I think short wave you can get that all over the world as opposed to long wave. Could be wrong, I'm not a radio expert. So let's have a look. On the MC/S we have 19 meter band, 25, 31, 41 and 49, and we have here third program, West Region, Munich, light program, Radio Normandy, Northern Ireland, Midland Region, West Region, Brussels, London Region, Berlin, Welsh, all these end in region, Scottish, Hilversum, Paris, North Region, Prague, Brussels, third program, Radio Irem, and Budapest. Now, you would think, why would I need to listen to Paris or Budapest or Munich? Well, normally back in the day, these places used to pump out some quite interesting programs, light music, maybe even the new music for your new teenagers in the house, and you might be listening to Northern Ireland radio, some political broadcast or some deep thing, and then your teenagers come in later and they switch it to Brussels. The fridge has just started up. Too many rattles. Hope this doesn't deflect from the program. And then they will tune into Brussels and they be dancing around in the living room, and you come in and go, "Why are you listening to that rock and roll music?" But long wave, I'm having a flashback to past life, I think. And then we go into long wave and we got Finnmark, aircraft. You sit there all evening, listen to the aircraft flying over. Leningrad, Oslo, Karlsruhe, Luxembourg, light program, Radio Paris, and Lati. So one set was almost like the internet of its time. It would give you the world and just tune it in for the simple pleasure of putting some bit of money in the meter. You could gain the world. And what was the old BBC broadcast? Broadcasting onto a world, or the world is listening, something like that. So let's flip this around and take a look at the back. So we have spun this around, and I've been taking off the screws in the back. Just taking off the last screw now, and I haven't opened this before, so it will be a surprise for both of us. Back in the day, this was cast, and it looks like something's been living in here. Oh, weird. Looks like they've made a nest somewhere, so if a mouse comes out, that looks a shame. The instructions have been chewed. Well, that's a good shot. We didn't turn it on, so how would anything get in? Oh, probably through there. And you're not picking up a little hole. Let's grab a torch. Oops. Just checking for mice. So Here we have, let's get some more light. Would that be in your way, ladies and gentlemen? Lights are bad today. As I say, I'm recording during the night because it's a little bit quieter. I've got main road right near me and it doesn't help. And I need to get some more posh studio lights. I was watching a Techmoan video where he had some LED ones. And worst thing is YouTube videos with bad imaging. But let's have a look here. Now, back in the day, we used to have things called valves. Now this hasn't been plugged in for 20, 30 years. Now there's some big old capacitors in here. Just err on the side of caution. You don't want to be sticking fingers through. But hopefully everything's been discharged a long time ago. I think maybe let's bring you down again. Let's really get you in there. Shall I? So these are the peanut shells. So they look like they've been joining peanuts and nibbling in here, living in the radio, which is a bit worrisome because the car was in the same garage, but these don't look all that manky. But who knows? Mices, as long as it's not rats. Rats just destroy everything. Wheel on everything. So we've got some big old valves in here. The basic of the tuning, you have a variable capacitor in the back. Move you up slightly. Here we have a variable capacitor. Should really do this left-handed. Variable capacitor adjusts the waveform. Oops, a daisy. That wasn't clever. I tried to give you more light. How is that without light? Oh, that's not too bad. It's self-adjusting. Let's not worry about that then. So, in here we have a speaker at the back. Speaker design has barely changed much in 100 years. We have the transformer at the back here. It's a big old beast and looks like a secondary transformer with a early capacitor on the top. Valves are basically transistors, and these are common ones. Now the back was just screwed on because it would be quite common to change these valves like you would, and a couple of transistors is a basic circuit for amplifier. So you normally have a aerial cable going around the box, wrapped round a few times. I can't see any aerial, just bending down. Don't know how much you can see at home, but you can see the tuning cable there on the capacitor, which has gone crusty and that's sort of locked up. So powering one of these up wouldn't be too good. You have a lead and that seems just to be dangling around there in the ether. That might be the shortwave. There used to be the old wiring diagram, which where did that go? Piece of paper up on the right hand side. Sodding fridge. Hot Point, if you want to sponsor me for a new fridge, that's a bit quieter, or someone sponsor me to get me a big house, that'd be good. So this was the fragment of paper, which, see the little nibble marks? So Mousy was, I'm so glad I didn't, that would have been YouTube gold though, wouldn't it? And Mousy's springing out from everywhere. Or even if I had a dead one, that wouldn't be too pleasant. So you have a grounding cable behind there. Different voltages for different regions. Now quite interesting, what is the voltage in the UK? 220, 240, and Europe 220, 240 at 50 Hertz. America 110 at 60, and a few other places in the world. But in England, different regions have different voltages up until standardisation, because it wasn't national power. It was the power supply company, supplier in the area, and they kind of locked you in. So there was no internet. You went down to your local electric shop and that had the products, and sometimes they were 110 volts, 140, 160, 200, 215, 235. So you might be in 100 to 117 volt region. So what did you do? Well, you bought the item, and sometimes they came, they sometimes came with a little jumper, and that would tap off the transformer differently to power the items, but most times not. So if you thought, oh, you know, you're living down in Essex somewhere and you think to move up to the Midlands, then your electrics might not be too good. But people moved a lot less. So not much to really look at. Under here there will be no circuit board. It literally be wires dangling down, and just having a look under, there's these sort of hard tap over wires. This would be the basic PCB and sort of printed circuit board, a sort of metal frame, and quite a nice design. You can, I know people do rewire these and use them as vintage amps, but you can normally make a quite good guitar amp out of this. It's work, you know. You have to run through all the components, dump the transformers, and you're talking high voltage. Sort of current wise is a bit ropey as well. To make a amp, it's out the breadth. I have the understanding of how to do it. Do I want to do it? No, not really. Looks like there used to be some earthing on this, and broke off some time ago. I don't know if you can see that. So we have these valves. Now the valves should just pull in and out. Ooh, there we go. So this is a Mollard AZ31. That's a beauty. Picking up on the camera there. So that was, and that be replaced later on with a tiny little transistors, like you would find in like a through-hole circuit board, and then later replaced with microscopic transistors on a microchip. When you think that is one transistor, as opposed to, it's basically a switch, as opposed to what you would find in a computer processor now, which, you know, thousands, hundreds of thousands. But this is where it all started. Components so old and crusty. Transformers haven't changed that much. Not sure what these Mullard EF39s are. They look a bit fun to play with. Probably capacitors of some sort for audio leveling. And this is serial number. Normally we hide the serial numbers, but this is KE2118. Okay, so that was another 10 minutes through. I don't know how I chopped that. Quickly now, though, as you can see, it's a big empty box. I'm going to mount the the motherboard in a normal position, so it'll be coming out this side. I did do a rear facing motherboard tray on my other build, and it came out that side, but accessing it was awkward. Probably PSU down in this corner, hard drives, solid states. Not sure what to go for is a eBay special, but even with other components be about 150, or a cheap AMD, integrated graphics job around about 220, 250, and that's using new components with a few hard drives chucked in. So until part 3, no, this is part 3, until part 4, I shouldn't really label them, I should just do updates. So until the next time, we will strip this down, clean the case up. I've got some ideas as well how to modify it, and should be quite a fun retro. Would it be a sleeper? Technically not that powerful machine it might end up be, but I've got some repairs to do. So until next time, if you want to see some more how this is coming along, please subscribe, drop a like as always, and keep cool. Till next time. I'm a duty paid. Goodbye.